programmatic should absolutely be part of everything we deliver, and we should be looking at making data-led decisions about, do we show a brand message, do we drive consideration, do we drive action based upon what we know or can assume about that customer at that moment in time. I think it's a slightly outdated question to look at whether it can be used for branding or DR. I think the question we need to be looking at is how can it be used alongside everything that we do. It's about trying to take a step back from individual channel metrics, individual channel silos and objectives, and about how we drive business results for our clients. So I think absolutely agencies need to change. It's something we've focused on over the last 2 years within Mindshare. Building out our fast team, ensuring that we've got these capabilities best in class but nestled alongside the agency processes and practice. It's not about a handoff, it's not about shattering a brief out to individual areas. It's about how do we look at our clients' requirements and how we can support that through delivery. I think for us it's making sure that we educate our creative partners to understand the exciting opportunities that exist within this space. It's not about media trying to eat their lunch, it's not about us trying to take things away. Part of it's also about how we as media industry educate ourselves. So we have recently hired a creative lead within our programmatic team to make sure we can start to use creatives' language, their vocabulary, and help them understand us in the same way we need to understand them.
So I think that a lot of the conversation that we've been having today has been about how we need to change the way that we measure digital advertising, in particular display. A lot of brand advertisers are now spending money in the digital space, and the measurement techniques that we're using are kind of connected still to performance, to a last click or a last touch methodology, and I think that's the main thing that needs to change. What we need to start doing in our industry is start to figure out better ways in which we can measure the impact that brand has on DR. So we've seen from a lot of testing that we've seen that the brand advertising actually shows a good priming effect when it comes to DR ads and actually improves the performance of DR campaigns. And as an industry, we've got to figure that out. But the other thing that needs to change is the time frame that we're given to deliver success. Usually, and this is traditionally, the digital world has been focused on 30 days. You're given 30 days to hit a goal. With brand advertising, that shouldn't be the case. It should be a lot longer than that. And we've seen that through a number of studies in the past from the IPA, with the long and short of it. I think what needs to change is that we need to start having more conversations with comms planners. I think a lot of the data that's used today in advertising, especially digital advertising, is retroactive. It happens after a campaign is finished. It'd be nice to have more conversations where data can be used more proactively for campaign planning, for example. Agencies' structures need to change as well. I think they're still very siloed, and once agencies start to actually bring the creative and the media, together a bit more closely, I think that's when the technology companies like ourselves will start to get more involved in those conversations. Right now it's very much executional. It'd be nice to be a little bit more about the planning. I think we can bridge the gap between creatives and programmatic by having more conversations with them, but it's also understanding the creative process. A lot of the time the media agencies and the media side of the business will say we need to educate the creative side, when I think it's the creatives that need to educate us.
So I'd like to see this year the progress compared to last year. Last year we were talking a lot about big data and everything, or all the possibilities of things that can be done with data, and now I'm curious to see how many service providers, companies, people have really achieved in the meantime, and how things are progressing.